How much does it actually cost to buy a house in Austin? Is the price really the price? This is a conversation that I have with homebuyers all the time, and we break down the cost of buying a home in details. So I figured I'd make a quick video to share all the fees involved in buying a home in Austin. Make sure to watch this video all the way through because there's one item that is very Texas specific that I actually give away towards the beginning of the video, but watch this video all the way through because it's good for the algorithm and I'm pretty sure you're gonna learn something anyway. Hey, I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Austin. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the Austin area, contact me. My contact information is in the description below. You can also set up a one-on-one Zoom call directly with me through the description at the bottom. Just follow the link and we will get it set up. So with that, let me tell you all the fees involved in buying a home in Austin. I'm going to jump right in and get to the meat of it. So once we go under contract on a home in Austin, the home buyer has 72 hours to turn in 2 checks. The first one is called earnest money. Paying earnest money is something that's common practice all over the United States, regardless of where you are buying a home. But earnest money is typically 1% of the sales price, and that sum of money in Texas goes to the title company, and the title company holds that in an account until closing. For easy math, let's say you're buying a $700,000 home. The earnest money is going to be $7,000. It goes to the title company, and let's say in 30 days we close, you get that money credited back to you at closing. The second check that is due in that same 72 hours is called option money. Now, this is very Texas specific. The option money buys you an option period so you can do your inspections and any other negotiations. An option period is usually 5 to 7 days long. For this example, let's just say it's 7 days. Also, an option period typically doesn't cost any more than maybe $300, $500 depending on the situation. The option money then goes to the title company and then they send that money to the seller. So for easy math, let's say you're buying an option period for $300. So the first 2 checks that you turn in are for a sum of $7,300. And let's say during the option period, you do your inspection and something comes up and the seller isn't willing to negotiate, or maybe you just change your mind and don't want the home. You can absolutely walk away from the contract during the option period, during those 7 days, and get your earnest money back, which for this example was $7,000. Now, let's say you wait 9, 10, 11 days to walk away from the contract after your option period is done. You can do that. However, you lose your earnest money. So again, in this example, that was $7,000. The seller gets to keep that $7,000 that you put down as earnest money. Like I said, an option period is very specific to Texas. I think Texas is one of the only states where you actually have to pay for an inspection period, is what most other places call it. So if you have questions about that or have any other thoughts, leave a comment. I'm curious to see what your guys' questions might be about that. The next fee that is involved with buying a home, of course, is the inspection. Depending on how big the home is, how old it is, what inspections you want to get, it can be anywhere from about $500 to $700. Give or take. If you're buying a newer home that's maybe 1,500 square feet, your inspection is probably going to be right around the $500 mark. But if you're buying a larger home that's in, let's say like Northwest Austin, that was built in the 80s and it has a pool and it's got multiple levels and a big wood deck, then your inspection is probably going to be closer to $700, maybe $800, depending on what all you want to do. The next fee, which may or may not be a factor in your home purchase, is the property survey. I think this is also kind of specific to Texas. A property survey is basically a legal drawing of the property. It shows the property lines, building lines, where any government easements are, and then it shows where the actual home is located on the lot. Now, this is important when you're financing a home because all lenders require there to be a property survey when you are financing a home. Most of the time, home sellers will have a survey on hand. However, every now and then they don't, because it could be that they lost it somewhere or that they've been in the home for such a long time that they just haven't had to have a property survey in years. Now, if this is the case, we can usually negotiate so that the seller buys a new survey for the home. However, every now and then, and this is actually really rare in this market because we are in such a strong buyer's market, but every now and then the buyer has to buy a new survey, and that can cost, again, depending on the size of the property itself, it can be anywhere from about $500 to maybe $800. Again, like I mentioned, we are in a buyer's market, so we can typically negotiate for the seller to pay these types of fees. The fifth fee that you can actually expect to incur during a home purchase is the cost of appraisal. What is an appraisal? So when you are financing a home through a lender or a bank, they will get a third party to go out to look at the home to make sure it's worth the money that they are lending you. An appraisal report basically shows you the value of the home, and that can typically cost cost about $500 to $600. I've talked about appraisals a whole bunch in other videos, but if you have questions about what an appraisal is and how it works, please leave a comment. It's a pretty involved explanation, and I really just want to keep it high level just for the purpose of this video so you can just have a general idea of what the cost of buying a home can be. The next fee that you will incur as a home buyer is your down payment. Down payment varies greatly depending on the type of loan that you're getting, depending on the price of the home, and what your budget is, of course. You can get a home for as little as 3% down, or you can do 20, 30, 40, 50%, as much as you want. Usually the minimum down payment acceptable is about 3 to 3.5% down, and that includes conventional and FHA. There are other types of loans that we can go into for another video, but for now, like I said, we're keeping it high level. So those are general down payment requirements for those types of loans. Lastly on my list are closing costs. What are closing costs? Closing costs is an extra fee to close your home, which is a sum of fees made up of property taxes, insurance, lender fees, and title fees. Most of the time, closing costs end up being 2.3% of the total price of the home. Y'all, that's literally all the costs involved in buying a home, at least in Texas. If you are thinking about relocating to Austin or thinking about selling a home here, you can always reach out. My contact information is at the description below. We can also set up a one-on-one Zoom call. Just follow the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor. Till next time.